Good afternoon. Welcome to Thursday, a sunny, sunny Sunday for Thursday. Just a sunny Thursday, I guess is what I'm saying. Okay, I'm just making sure I'm streaming everywhere. That's the usual drill. And okay, I am. Okay, I'm live. I'm good everywhere. All right, and hi. So it's Thursday. We got a Farmer Spreadsheet tip, of course, like every Thursday. So how are you doing on your farm? Out here on our farm, I guess it's, so for where we are in Canada, outside of Montreal and Quebec, about 2-3 weeks ago, actually, no, this is an exceptionally early spring. So we've been in the field for much longer than the last couple of weeks, but normally it's around May 1st that we can get out there. And that's what we're doing. I'm in here this afternoon for that Farmer Spreadsheet tip. And I want to talk a bit more about online stores. That's what we've been talking about the last few weeks. And one of the things that, so there's all kinds of things that might be holding you back from launching an online store if you already have one, or from optimizing an online store if you've already launched yours. And pictures is a big one, and that's one that I would like to talk about today. And it doesn't have to be a complicated thing. I mean, essentially, you likely have a device like this in your pocket, and you can take pictures of just about anything at any time. And some ways it's as simple as that, taking a picture and loading it to your online store, and then it's there. Now, I know that it can feel a little more complicated than that. And so I'm going to talk through some of the steps. And so as always, we have a spreadsheet to jump into. So let me find us a spreadsheet. We got it right here. And okay, so this is, if you want to join along at home, of course, it's spreadsheet.farm/FSA036. And one of the things to start off with, so this spreadsheet that we're going to be looking at is the Shopify CSV file that we've been looking at the last couple weeks. And because that's one of the places we'll put the pictures in. But another thing is, so this is not the most elaborate in terms of spreadsheet tools in this tip. This is going to be more about systems and getting the job done. So one of the things to start off with is to make a list of all. So actually in this document, we already have a list here that's begun of the different products that are here. But you can also make another list. So it could be this list or another list. But essentially what you want to do is write down the name of all the products that you want to get. So it might be by variety. So this is a seed catalog that we run. So that's why it's a specific variety. But you might just have carrots that you want to have in your online store, beets, scallions, garlic. Maybe there's specific varieties. And as we talked about last week, you should have a SKU for your online store. I think that's pretty important, or SKUs for your products in your online store. So maybe your carrots are CAAR, your beets are BETR, your scallions, SCAL, your garlic, GAR. And so you make a list of what you think you're going to have in your online store, what you're already carrying, and then you need to have a checklist. Basically, it's going to say done. And you can add in a tick box. So that's if you go to insert, you can add a tick box. You can put a tick box, check it once it's done or not. And now you have a list of what you want to take a picture of during the growing season. And so you may already have pictures. That's fantastic. Or you may have pictures that you don't like and that you want to retake. And then this was also, you put those in here. And what you want to do next is add a date around when they're ready, or week number if you use those, kind of what period. And it could be, it's probably better to have it a date in terms of using numbers. So maybe, if it's going to be in June or July, you write 7/1. And we'll just format that date in a way that's clear. And so we know that we'll probably have carrots around July 1st, same beets Same for scallions. Garlic we won't have then. So let's say the 15th of August around, we want to have that. So you could write all your crops, and then with the date, that means afterwards you could go in and you could sort that range by the date. And I mean, it's already sorted because garlic is last, but you could see what there is that you need to do. Now you could add those crops specifically in a calendar, or every week you just go to look at this and put them on your blackboard. These are pictures that I need, and you make a point of taking pictures. And so in an ideal world, you would look for a good picture, and a good picture is probably one that is framed well and that looks nice. Maybe you take it in, go into your greenhouse where the light's a little bit more diffuse, and just it makes it easier to take a nice picture in there. But any picture is better than no picture. And so snapping pictures while you're harvesting, like try to focus just to have the vegetable in it and not like 5 or 6 different vegetables. But that's the starting point. And another thing which is good to think about is how is the picture displayed on your online store. Actually, maybe I should take I'm going to bring up our online store and just show what our pictures look like. Okay, I'm just changing screens. Where is that? Chrome. Sorry about this. I'm going to just, okay. I'm going to change screen over here, and we're going to look at this. There we are. So this is our online store. We're just going to jump into a specific vegetable. And what you see on our store is the pictures are all squares. And that's pretty common on a lot of online stores. So if your pictures are squares, then you want to be uploading. If the ideal way to look at your picture is a square, you want to upload it to that. But you want your pictures to be the same format however you do it. And a square is a pretty easy format to maintain. So when you're taking a picture, you can just go on the settings to choose it to be an actual square, or you can take a full-size picture and you can crop it later. That's up to you. So I'm going to jump into some slides here, going back to changing another screen. And so you're going to have a bunch of pictures, and these, as you can see, they're not taken as squares. This was taken a while ago. So a bunch of pictures that were taken. The fantastic blackboard. We have background. We use there's a lot. If you look at a lot of our pictures, you'll see we have the same cutting boards. But so these pictures were taken as a rectangle, and so you have your pictures, and maybe they're on iPhoto, maybe they're in Dropbox, or I guess it's called Photos now on Mac. There's somewhere that you have all your pictures. And in this stage, this is great to have these pictures, but you need to bring them somewhere else so they're actually a bit more useful. So here you can choose the pictures you like, and then the pictures you like, go in, crop them to a square shape. Most editing, I can't imagine any editing, any photo platform doesn't have a way to crop pictures. Crop them as a square, and then export them to your desktop. And you're going to save them on your desktop. And here, if you look at, so create a folder that says online store pictures. Maybe it's on Dropbox, maybe it's somewhere else. And you're going to download your pictures there. And here, if you look at these names for these pictures, it says SL202, IMG 0595. So that IMG 0595 is the number that the identifying picture that came out when it was exported or when it was taken in the camera. And SL202 is the SKU of the product. And so this is, when I was talking last week about how SKUs are valuable, this is another place that's really great to have them, because I can just go into the search bar, type in SL202, and that anything associated with that product is going to pop up, be it a picture, be it a document, be it any kind of thing. So I'll save the picture with both the SKU in it, the beginning, and that means that it's going to sort kind of by default in the folder by SKU, but I also leave the image number in it. And I leave that there because if ever I want to get more tomato pictures of that type, this image number makes it really easy to jump back to wherever those pictures are stored, like a photos folder, and or photos app on a MacBook, and go and look into these, and you then can go and look at variants of that same picture. So like here, you've chosen what you think probably is the best, but maybe for some reason you need other ones. So knowing that code, you can go back and there's likely other pictures like that, like you've taken, because I mean, you should take more than one picture when you're out there, you know. It's not like we're using film. There's a lot of, you can just take a ton of pictures and put them on your hard drive. I mean, at a certain point, you might want to do a little bit of triage just to not fill up the hard drive. But you can store a lot of pictures, and then by labeling your pictures this way, you can always go back to the source. Now, you might also have other folders that you have also with pictures that are in other format. Like we have folders where we have pictures that are being used for our seed packs, and it's a little bit of a different format, but it's the same codes, and it might be the same picture cropped a different way. That's there. Now, once you have that picture, so you have that picture on your desktop, and you have a version that's stored there that you can use whenever you want. Now you want to use it on your online store. So this is a Shopify store. I mean, all different stores have different ways to all different stores have different ways that they deal with pictures, but a lot of them have somewhere like in settings. So here in the arrow, you click on settings and it brings you to a screen, and there's something here, it says files, you know, so either it's media or files. And you can click on that and it'll bring you somewhere where you can upload files. And so you can upload them and give the file a name, and you'll get a link out of that. And so here, in this case, we've uploaded the picture. And if I click on that little link icon, it's going to copy to my, I'm going to copy the URL that I can then paste somewhere. And that brings us back to, where does that bring us? It brings us back to the spreadsheets that we started off with, because everything always comes full circle. And so once you have a URL that's online, you can plug it into here. And then this picture, so if I click on this picture, it's going to show me, okay, so what happens if I click on that picture? I'm just going to share what the URL showed. And so this is the picture that is online. That's in the Shopify banks. And so this is the URL. And so when I'm going to link my product in my store to that URL, and it's there. But I can also go to it just by using the URL. I don't have to go through the product in the online store. Let's go back to the spreadsheet. And so here, as you create first, as you get your pictures taken and maybe put into your Dropbox or a folder on your computer, you can check them off. And then you can also update the URL as you upload them. You probably want to upload them at the same time every time you get a new batch in your Dropbox or wherever you're putting them, upload them right away. Get those URLs into here, even if you're only going to use them later on. And then here, so this is the other part of the sheet is the Shopify sheet that we were looking at. So just, Shopify has a CSV file that you're going to be exporting to import into your system. And this is true for online stores. So here with this document, it's separated into descriptions of the crops and formats of how you're selling your products, and that all get linked together in the Shopify CSV file. And one of the things in the description is the image, the URL for each image. And so you could then store those into this spot also. Or this could be your starting place, and you could just add at the end a checkbox that says, we'd have no header on, or have a header, but like new picture, question mark, and you could put that tick box in. And then you want another column that would say the date as we did, and you can manage it into this one file. Either way comes to pretty similar results. So either an own file where you're managing this, or just straight away in that same other file. And I mean, if you can also start to have, in this case, let's say you had a URL that you don't like. You could have 2 columns, which could say bad photo, and you put the URL there that you don't like, and because you're glad that you have anything, and then you could have another one that's a good photo, and as you update it, you put that into here. You always want to have good, no typos. But yeah, as you update them, you could put them down to here. And so what we're talking about here is, well, I guess we're going to do one specific spreadsheet thing. When you copy, so if you paste in a URL and then you push enter, it's going to add a hyperlink to it right away. And so if you go in and you highlight it, you're going to see it's going to say the name, and there's going to be something you can copy the link to go open in another tab. There's also a little edit link that you can click on, and here it shows you the URL on the bottom, and then there's also the text. So I could change this to call it carrot. And so now it says carrot with the little line underneath. It looks like a hyperlink because it is. And if I click on it, it'll bring me to that picture. So that's the specific spreadsheet tip embedded in this week's video, or this week's live. But what the thing to take away really is, you want to be taking pictures regularly. You want to take them as squares or crop them as squares, and you want to store them with. You want to store them in a drive or in a Dropbox folder with the SKU of the product. If you don't use SKUs, write down the name. It's great to spell the name the same way all the time, because that means it's easy to search for, which is nice about a SKU, that unless you make a mistake, the SKU should be the same. But yeah, in your name, you want to have a SKU, and you also want to keep your initial image number so that it's easy to search for the original and variants of it if you want to go back to that later on. And then once you've uploaded files to your online store, if your online store lets you, and a lot of stores let you, they'll create a URL that you can use that URL. So get that URL into your spreadsheet also, and you'll have a master spreadsheet that has your codes, your names, and your URLs, and then you're set to manage your online store that way. So that's what's on the menu today. And if you have not, that's one thing. Sometimes you're feeling behind on your online store because there's all kinds of things that you could have done. At this point, I know that you're probably in the field and you're not working actively on your online store, but now's a really great time the work that you can do for your online store is gather those pictures. So start taking pictures in your field. Take pictures of the crops that you're harvesting, and ideally, bring some of those pictures into a greenhouse or somewhere where the light's not too harsh, and take some shots as squares, and then you build up your photos so that in the winter or the fall, if you haven't already set up your online store, you'll be ready to do that then. So that's today's Farmer Spreadsheet tip, and I'll be back next week with some more great stuff. And if you have any farm spreadsheet questions or planning or management conundrums that you're thinking about and that you'd love to have cracked, please send me an email or a DM or leave a comment on one of these videos. And I'd love to know what you'd love to know more about. So have a fantastic week. See you next Thursday, and